Hello again and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is Jesse here, and I am back for a Geek Loot Spotlight. Quite possibly the Geek Loot Spotlight, because man, I was teasing this a little bit on some streams earlier, and I think even on Twitter a couple times. I said I was going to have kind of a cool surprise for you guys. We got this box on my kitchen floor here. Yes, because of what I'm showing you guys today, I need to be on my kitchen, in my kitchen due to the hard floor, and you'll find out why in a second. So they got this big box here. Lo and behold, it happens to have an Autobot symbol. Yeah, this kind of dark grayish black box. We've got our outline on there. I don't know how easy that is to see. Transformers there, and you see him right back there. We'll get to him in a moment. But this is the Robosen Optimus Prime. Robosen partnered with Hasbro Pulse to make this really crazy collectible. And this is not like a simple little toy or an action figure. This is like a full-blown robot, man. And it comes in that box. It is a collector's box, so I want to keep the box. It's individually numbered. I think mine is like 149, so I got the 149th one of these made. These are limited run. I don't know if they're making another run of these or not. But this is the Generation 1 Optimus Prime through Hasbro Pulse and Robosen. Robosen, I guess, has made other robots and even transforming robots, but none like probably the most famous transforming robot of all time, Optimus Prime. And you see it comes in this nice collectible. It's kind of like almost like a foam cooler. It's not plastic or anything, but it comes in. Here is where he would sit. It comes in this actual case that's inside of the collector's box. You have compartments here. You've got your user guide and quick start guide in there. You've got some cables. You got a USB cable because you can connect it to your computer. I guess there might be updates for it in the future. You have the smokestacks that you have to put onto him. Those you just snap them on, and I'll talk about that in a moment too. You've got an AC compartment for your AC adapter, which is in my bedroom because I was just charging him to make sure that we had some juice for this review or this video. And like I said, it's just this really nice kind of foam case. Not only does it have a handle on this side, but it's got little hinges or little flaps. You put everything in there, you put Optimus in there, and it comes with like these little snap things. You snap these shut, and then you can carry it. Like if you want to go show somebody or whatever, you definitely want this thing in a case like this because, as you'll soon see, when he's not turned on, he's a little bit like loose. This is a heavy robot. I don't remember how much he actually weighs, but here is Mr. Optimus Prime. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to introduce you to him because this is not just an action figure. Check this out. This is why this might just be the coolest toy collector figure ever. Hold this power button on his.
Greetings, friend. I am Optimus Prime.
And it has Peter Cullen doing the voices. How freaking badass is that? How cool is that? Hopefully that comes through on the video. It should. It's pretty loud. He's pretty loud. So I can give him commands. Like he's in truck form now. And look at that. He's got lights on the back. He has headlights. I'll turn it around. But what you came here to see is watch this. Yes, he talks. Yes, he uses Peter Cullen's voice. But more importantly, hey Optimus. Hey Optimus.
Greetings.
Transform. What? He transforms. He transforms by himself.
Greetings, people of Earth.
Hey Optimus.
Greetings.
Say hello.
Greetings, friend. I am Optimus Prime.
Hey Optimus.
Greetings.
Victory.
Knowledge is the pathway to victory.
Hey Optimus. Hey Optimus.
Greetings.
Loyalty.
We will never forsake this planet or its people.
Hey Optimus. Hey Optimus.
Greetings.
Power.
I returned, more powerful than ever.
Okay, what else?
Greetings.
Hey Optimus.
Greetings.
Megatron.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hey Optimus. Hey Optimus. Come on, sometimes he doesn't do it. Hey Optimus. Hey Optimus.
Greetings.
Report.
Decepticons detected.
And finally, hey Optimus.
Greetings.
Transform. Now, he did all of that without me touching it at all. I turned his power on, and that's it. Like, this is the coolest toy, guys. This thing, it's a couple pounds. Let me turn him around. But look at it, the back of him. Everything, it's kind of a combination of plastic and metal. A lot of it is plastic, but it's, you know, fairly durable, it seems. But these are like the bottom of his feet. They kind of fold up for the back, and you know, you got the blue legs and feet and whatnot. You got the legs there, or you got the lighting at the end. If I turn them around fully, again, I'm doing this one-handed because I thought about doing this with the tripod, but I really wanted to adapt to what he was doing. So if we get down in here, look at, oh, I love that he's more sturdy and when he's turned on. He's got his headlights. And if you flip down that little bottom part of the grill, that is where your USB port is and a round power adapter. You just flip that bottom part below the grill down, and that's where the ports are. I mean, everything is nice and shiny, like the red of the cab, the blue, the silver on the sides. I mean, I said it's hard to do this one-handed, but if I tip him over a little bit here, I mean, look at the amount of detail. You got the rims there. You see them all put together. He's got mirrors. You can fold those out if you want to. You've got the gas tanks, silver. There's his legs. There's that. Now, I mentioned the smokestacks earlier. I don't have them on at the moment because, like, he did tip over a couple times and they kind of popped off. And for whatever reason, they don't really stay in, for at least on my model, my unit, they don't stay on super well. If he tips over at all, he kind of...
Greetings.
Uh-oh. Come here, buddy. There we go. Tip him back here. So, let's slide him over a little bit. There we go. The pipes, they go back right up in the back of the cab, and I can grab them to show you. They're both the same. I don't think there's a left or right. They're just like they are. And they have these little pieces. There's like 5 little notches. And you kind of had to squeeze them a little bit, kind of pinch them to get them to fit in there. Originally, they were kind of hard to put in. But once you get them in there, they were sturdy. But then after he tipped over a little bit, which was kind of my fault, they don't stay in super well anymore. So I think I'm just going to put these back in the box. I mean, yes, he definitely looks better with these on. But I want to take care of this thing because he's expensive. We'll talk about that at the end. But those are the smokestacks. There's 2 of them. Okay, I'll put those back over there. And like I said, let's have him. The reason I put him facing away from me in truck form is because the way he transforms, you notice that his torso spins to make him face forward. So, hey, Optimus.
Greetings.
Transform. It does the sound. That never gets old. You know what? That never gets old. That is the coolest. Remember, because here's the thing. Like, when I was a little kid, I loved Ninja Turtles and Transformers. And I always wanted an Optimus Prime. I had a Raphael Turtles figure, but we just really didn't have a lot of money for that kind of thing. And I saw someone at school who had the original G1 Optimus figure with the trailer and everything, but I never owned one. I'm like, I always wanted it. I tried to look for some, the last few years, like on eBay, but they're stupid expensive. And those, of course, you had to transform on your own. You had to figure out the pattern and how to do it. This guy transforms himself. And look at him. He's breathing. He's like a living machine, dude. He's breathing. I'm not doing anything, but he's like, that's him. You can see him kind of not really rocking, but like he breathes.
Greetings.
Status. Oh, he said greetings, so. The heck? Hey, Optimus.
Greetings.
Status. Oh, it didn't work. He did that before. I'm trying to think what other words. And he'll do random poses.
Corruption is never a path to freedom.
Look at how articulate he is. That is just so cool. That is so cool. I mean, he literally, like, if you let him stand there, he'll do poses. You can give him voice commands. Now, I'm not going to be able to show you the app because I'm using my phone right now. But he also connects. There's an Optimus Prime. There's a Robosen app for him. And unfortunately, just to let you know, the app is not voiceover accessible, which is a huge bummer. However, I did write to them, and I might write to them again now that I actually own it, because even before I got this guy, I I wrote to them because I downloaded the app and I found that even when I tried doing the things without the robot here, nothing worked with voiceover. So I emailed them to ask them if they could improve it because I bought one. And they really weren't all that forthcoming, but now that I own one, I'm going to try to contact them again. I may be able to use it on my iPad and see it well enough to be able to make them do things, but so with the app, you can do... Oh, what's he going to do? Yeah, look at that pose, dude. You can do more with that. Like I said, there's a remote control feature where you literally use your phone's touchscreen as like a remote control vehicle. You can control him in vehicle form or in robot form. You can make him go left, right, forward, backward. The only thing that's kind of annoying about that is when he's in truck form, every time you move forward or backward, he always does a voice clip as well. And I kind of wish that you could just hit a button to do a voice clip. And like every time I move forward or backward or turn, I don't want him to necessarily speak all the time. Because if I do one thing and then I stop, he kind of cuts off mid-phrase. But like I said, you can literally have him kind of shuffle, walk around. I'll show you him turning around in a moment. Yeah, so look at that pose though. That is just so cool. And that he can stand. And that is why I should also mention, before I go back to the app, this is why we're doing this video in the kitchen, because you really want to be on a hard floor. I tried him on...
is never a path to freedom.
You don't want to play with him on the carpet, because look at the carpet over here. It's not that thick, but it's just enough where he can easily, especially when he's trying to do a move or a transformation or like a gesture, he does topple over. So you really want to have him on a hard, smooth surface. And I wouldn't recommend putting him on a small table, because when he does transform into his truck mode, like I said, you control him. And even if you tell him to roll out, he'll move a little bit, and you don't want him toppling off the table. So that is a thing. Now, I did fairly recently, before I even knew about this guy, here is an figure I picked up on Amazon for, I don't know, 20, 25 bucks or something like that. He's G1, but look at how small he is. Whoa, he doesn't even come up to his knees. Look at how small that is. Look at him. It's baby Optimus. Like, he comes with his trailer and everything, but like, look at how small he is. That's insane. I should mention, this guy stands 19 inches tall in robot form. So he's a big dude. This is a big actual robot. But sorry, there's just so much to talk about, and I haven't even begun to explore everything that this guy can do. In the app, you can control him like a remote control car or robot. There's some additional poses that you can do. And it's crazy because, like, you've seen him kind of move around, transform. He'll do like the victory pose where he slams the ground in like a stance that he did earlier, but he actually pounds the ground, kind of a thing. He can do push-ups. It's crazy. Like, he can literally get down like he's going to transform, but then instead he does push-ups, which is more than I can do, because I haven't done push-ups. Well, let's just say in many years. Push-ups suck, but my little Optimus Prime can. But the cool thing is so there's also like these training modes where you can give him, like, what you do is it'll give you the walkthrough. Like, he'll go into kind of like a more flexible mode where you can kind of move him around a little, and it'll give you these sequence of poses that you put him in, and then it'll play them back, and then it'll unlock those poses. So you can, in addition to the ones that are just, pre-built that I could tell him to do now, he will do these poses. And the more you do, the more you can unlock. And he'll unlock extra voice clips and everything. But then you can also, if you don't want to go those are kind of like your tutorial. But then if you want to actually make your own sequence of poses and tie that to a piece of dialogue, you absolutely can. So you can basically do your own sequence. And it's kind of this, that's why I wish it was more accessible, because it's like this very simple visual programming language where he kind of goes into this more relaxed mode, and you can, like, literally kind of pose him a different way, and then you save it. You pose him in a different way, save it. So you can kind of do, it's almost like stop motion animation. And then he'll do everything that you play back. So he just talks to you.
Greetings, people of Earth.
I love it. Hey, Optimus.
Greetings.
Who are you?
I am the leader of the Autobots.
I love it. So you have these voice commands, you have the remote control, you have this sort of programming thing. And because it's app-based and he's got a USB port on him, this is something that they can add new commands to the app. You get an app update, you can send more features to him. You might be able to download. Oh, look at, he's dancing. He's dancing, dude. That's so weird. Hey, Optimus. Hey, Optimus.
Greetings.
Move right. So I could tell him to move forward and everything
Let's
as well.
go.
Oh. Hey, buddy. Oh, don't go too much further, bud. Okay, I did not realize that would do that, because if you do it in a sequence enough, he will do them in... I did not know that. I just learned something new. So he's a little close. Can I move you back just a wee bit? Okay. Hey, Optimus.
Greetings.
Transform. Roll out. Roll out. Okay, it didn't work. Hey,
Greetings.
roll out.
Let's roll.
So there you go. So that, my friends. Oh, we need... oh, wow.
Freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
Oh, that's so good. Look at him. That is so good. That is literally like what I've kind of done and can show you right now with the Robosen Optimus Prime. Now, he does also come with, I should have showed you this first, but he does come with another little container in the shipping, and he has two other accessories. Of course, he's got his blaster, he's got his giant gun. How cool is that, right? Actually, let me do some. Hey, Optimus.
Greetings.
Transform. Hey, Optimus.
Greetings.
Shut down.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
How good is that? How crazy. Oh, man, that is just so good. So you have his blaster, and there is a little thing. I don't remember how to do it. There's you can turn on, there's like a little battery in there, and like, so the end of the tip glows. And you see he's got a little place where you can kind of snap it into his hand. This goes in his right hand. And then you have his giant battle axe. There's nothing really shiny or glowy or anything about that, but you just stick this sucker on there. You get the little the big plastic peg there, and he's got his axe. And so there are gestures where you can kind of tell him to attack or whatever. And especially in the app, you can, just control each arm individually. So you can tell him to do like a arm gesture, and he'll aim his gun, or he'll do like a slashing motion with the axe. It's super cool. The one warning that I would have to give you is I wouldn't put these in very often, even if you want to keep them in robot form, because if you do that, there are some gestures that he'll do, and the app and the instructions don't do a real good job of telling you which ones those are, where he'll do certain gestures, and if he has his weapons equipped, they'll block each other, and then he'll get stuck. And like if he tips over, or if something out of the ordinary happens, you'll get another kind of female voice. It'll give you like an error. It'll say like, left arm stuck, right hip stuck, or whatever. And then it says power off to, or reset to, I forget exactly, power off to reset or something. And so you have to kind of turn them off and turn them back on, and then he'll reset to whatever pose is in. So that is a look at the Robosen Optimus Prime robot. It is very, very cool. The couple downsides is, like I said, if you have him off and you try to pick him up, you really want to find a good way to pick him up. Pick him up with both hands, because he is rather big, and all of the legs, like he doesn't have like a set pose. Like he's in truck form, but when you pick him up, like his legs and stuff will kind of just flop down, and he's really, I wish there was like a lock mode when he's off, so that the truck will stay in one position. That's the one thing, because it would make transporting or picking him up a lot easier. The other thing that is kind of unfortunate is if you want to display him and you want him to be in robot form, you can't do that in a standing pose, because that would be a really, really cool, menacing, just having this giant 19-inch tall collectible robot on your table or your shelf or whatever. But he, like I said, when his power is off, the little servo motors, and like I said, I think there's 27 of them in there. They kind of go into this relaxed, shutdown state, so he can't support himself. He can't support his own weight when turned off. You have to have the power on for it to be in this locked mode. So instead, what he does is he kind of almost does this weird, like, I don't know, sit down yoga pose type of thing when he's in robot form, and you turn him off. So like you can have him in robot form. He just doesn't look near as cool, because he's kind of got this like I said, sitting down pose. Like you can't just have him in upright in the robot form like this little guy here. But yeah, I mean, I know I didn't cover, like, I wasn't able to really show you some of the app stuff, the remote control, the visual programming. Partly it's a matter of me being able to record it, and partly it is that some of it I just can't see well enough, because, if I had it on my 12.9-inch iPad Pro, I might have more of a prayer, I might have more of a chance, but, they just designed this for your average viewer or your average sighted user. They didn't really consider accessibility, voiceover, blind accessibility whatsoever when they made the app, which even going in when I bought this, I knew that it was likely going to be that way. But like I said, when I was a kid, I always wanted an Optimus Prime. I couldn't find the metal die-cast version. I found a couple, and there's so many models of it out right now. I wanted old school, OG G1 Optimus Prime, kind of like this guy here. I didn't want the weird like modern versions where he's all like, sleek shaped, or there's ones where he's like a fire truck or some nonsense. That's not Optimus Prime. No, man, you need G1, old school semi. Peter Cullen is the voice, and I'm so glad they got him, because Optimus Prime is just not him without Peter Cullen. So kudos, heck of a partnership. I mean, this thing is just cool. I'm wondering what this thing is going to be like 6 months, a year from now. They're going to be able to add more things via the app. I don't know what this USB connectivity is going to allow us to do. Who knows what homebrew hackers are going to be able to do with this. It's just a really, really neat collector's item. So, I always wanted this Optimus Prime, and yes, this is obscenely expensive, and I normally would not ever do this, but this is like the one time, the one item. Like I said, Ninja Turtles Optimus Prime, I always wanted one, and since I couldn't get the original metal die-cast version, I couldn't find one that I liked, or that wasn't, used but super expensive, and even then, they were never in stock. I saw this Robosen, and I saw that it could transform itself. I saw that Peter Cullen did the voices. I mean, the fact that you could program it, you could remote control it, you had a remote control car, you had a remote control robot, voice commands. I mean, it's a nerd. It is like the nerdiest toy ever, period. If my 10-year-old, 8-year-old, 10-year-old mind would have seen this back in the day, it would blow his mind. Like the fact, oh yeah, it just transforms itself and can drive itself. Like the only thing that would be cooler is if it had like an actual speech engine where it used Peter Cullen's voice and you could ask it things like you could in Echo or a Google Doc or a Google thingy. Like if you could ask it things and it would be like an assistant in addition to doing what it does. Like that, 5-10 years from now, we're not that far away, because we already have, these things where people read a bunch of stuff into a computer and then it makes something based on their voice. Like they already have that technology and it's getting better. But like the time that they could add that into an actual usable product, and you have functionality, like I said, like your smart speakers, that would be ridiculous. And we're not that far off. So that is a look at what I can show you, at least for now, of the Robosen Optimus Prime robot. It is not a tiny toy. It is not a collector, or it is not a cheap toy. It is not even an action figure. This is a full-blown nerdy programmable robot. It's very, very cool. There are a few shortcomings. Like I said, with the power off, I wish he had a lock so he could stay in place, both in vehicle and robot form. I wish that, he could, even being on, like I said, this carpet is not that thick. I mean, it's pretty flat. It's not, you could probably do this on office, like on office carpet, where it's literally just this super, super, super flat carpet. You could probably get away with it there, but any sort of living room carpet, even if it is pretty flat, there's still a little bit of cushioniness to it. I know that's not a word, but I made it a word. You can do that, but I wouldn't recommend it, because he will tip over when he tries to walk, or he tries to transform, or he tries to do a gesture. That can happen. But overall, like I said, I really wish the app were voiceover accessible. I am going to contact the company again. Maybe share this video with them. Who knows? But I had to show you this. It's almost like a living robot, man. It's definitely the coolest toy I own. It's definitely the coolest collectible I own. I love my Ed 209. I love some of the other stuff that I've got, but this is by far and away probably going to be the coolest Geek Loot Spotlight video I will ever do, because I don't really see anything topping this, because this is just awesome. Anyway, we'll wrap it up here. Like I said, this is a very limited item. I don't even think it's in stock anymore anywhere, unless you're going to pay extremely over high prices. You can look on Robosen's website. Right now, they're selling it for, like, it is about $700. Yeah, I told you, this thing is stupid expensive. But for a one-time collector's thing, I'm going to take extremely good care of it. This is going to be something that will just be cool for a long time. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like it if you did. Follow me on Twitter at BGFH79, twitch.tv/illegally-cited, illegally-cited.com, and right here on YouTube. Later, guys.